विराजते भूधर भूसभूधरा यथा वना निस्सरतो दाता धृता मतं गजेन्द्रस्य सपत्र पद्मिनी दंश्राग्य कोट्या भगवंस्त्वया धृता विराजते भूधर भूसभूधरा यथा वना निस्सरतो दाता धृता मतन गजेन्द्रस्य सपत्र पद्मिनी Damshragra, the tips of the tusks, Kotya, by the edges, Bhagavan, O personality of Godhead, Tvaya, by you, Dhruta, sustained, Virajate, is so beautifully situated, Bhudara, O lifter of the earth, Bhuhu, the earth, Sabhudara, with mountains, Yata, as much as, Vanat, from water, Nissarataha, coming out, Dhata, by the tusk, Dhruta, captured, Matam Gajendrasya, infuriated elephant, Sapatra, with leaves, Padmini, the lotus flower. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. O lifter of the earth with its mountains, which you have lifted with your tusks, is situated as beautifully as a lotus flower with leaves sustained by an infuriated elephant just coming out of the water. Please repeat the translation. O lifter of the earth with its mountains, which you have lifted with your tusks, is situated as beautifully as a lotus flower with leaves sustained by an infuriated elephant just coming out of the water. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The fortune of the earth planet is prized because of its being specifically sustained by the Lord. Its beauty is appreciated and compared to that of a lotus flower situated on the trunk of an elephant. As a lotus flower with leaves is very beautifully situated, so the world with its many beautiful mountains appeared on the tusks of the Lord bore. Next verse, I'll read myself. Traimayam rupam idam cha shaukaram bhumandalenata dhatadritena te chakasi shrungoda ghanena bhuyasa kulachalendrasya yataiva vibramaha. O Lord, as the peaks of great mountains become beautiful when decorated with clouds, your transcendental body has become beautiful because of your lifting the earth on the edge of your tusks. Purport. The word Vibramaha is significant. Vibramaha means illusion as well as beauty. When a cloud rests on the peak of a great mountain, it appears to be sustained by the mountain. And at the same time, it looks very beautiful. Similarly, the Lord has no need to sustain the earth on his tusks. But when he does so, the world becomes beautiful, just as the Lord becomes more beautiful because of his pure devotee on the earth. Although the Lord is the transcendental personification of the Vedic hymns, he has become more beautiful because of his appearance to sustain the earth. Presents the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in these two verses specifically, the devotees are glorifying the position of earth on the tusks of the Lord, the beauty of Mother Earth and beauty of the Lord Himself. He said, Damshra Agra Kotya Bhagavan Tvaya Dhrita. Damshra Agra Kotya, on the tip of your tusks, O Bhagavan, O Supreme Lord, Tvaya Dhrita, you are sustaining, you are holding on. What are you holding on? Virajate Bhudara, O lifter of the Mother Earth, Bhudara. Virajate, Mother Earth is sustaining on the tusk of your tip of your tusk. Bhu Sabhudara, Mother Earth with all its mountains. So, Yata Vanan Nissarato Data Dhruta. Yata Vanan, in the water. Nissarataha, it's coming out. What? Data Dhruta. Like elephant, when it is coming out of water, it had plucked a lotus flower with leaves. So how beautiful that lotus flower looks in the tusk or in the trunk of elephant. So Mother Earth was looking in a similar situation. You also came out of water, a huge elephant also comes out of the water. So you are carrying the Mother Earth and elephant is carrying the beautiful lotus flower. So they are comparing an analogy, the visualization, so that the beautification of the lotus flower is compared to Mother Earth. So one perspective here is, why always the Lord is compared with lotus only? Anything connected with the Lord is connected to with, referred with lotus. Lotus hand, lotus feet, lotus face, lotus navel. So why so? So Prabhupada explains, lotus is the most beautiful object in this material world in the Lord's creation. The highest beautiful thing in this material world is lotus. So for us to have a reference of standard that anything connected with the Lord means, with the lotus means that is of the highest in nature. So similarly next further it says, Trayimayam Rupam Idam Cha Shaukaram. And how was the form of the Lord? He is personification of Vedas. Trayimayam Rupam. And Idam Cha Shaukaram. And you have accepted this form of a Lord Boar, Shukara. Bhumandalenata Data Drutena Cha. And you are holding on to this Bhumandalena. You are sustaining this entire earthly planetary system. Chakasi Shrungoda Ghanena Bhuyasa. And it is glowing that because of your bodily effulgence, the earth you are sustaining, Shrungoda Ghanena Cha, like sustained by the peaks, by the clouds. Sometimes we see the clouds passing by mountains. So it is like at particular point you see the entire cloud is resting on the tip of that mountain. So like that, Kula Chalendrasya Yataiva Vibramaha. This is also a decoration. Like Mother Earth with all its mountains is like a decoration on the tusk of your on your body. So similarly, as a huge mountain carries the weight of the cloud on its tip. So everything was looking most wonderful thing, beautiful thing. So here it is word, that specific word is Vibramaha. So Prabhupada explains Vibramaha means two meanings. One is illusion, the other one is beauty. So here the context of beauty is taken into perception. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, when a cloud rests on the peak of a great mountain, the cloud appears to be sustained by the mountain. And at the same time, it looks very beautiful. So Lord has no need to sustain the earth on His tusk. But because But when he does so, the world becomes beautiful, just as the Lord becomes more beautiful because of his pure devotees on the earth. So, in the perspective, anything connected with the Lord becomes beautiful. Everything becomes beautiful by the touch of the Lord, because the Lord is the supreme most beauty. So, in 5th canto, we come across one situation where Mother Earth prays to Lord Varaha in one of the Varshas, Uttara Kuru Varsha it says. So, her prayers are mentioned by Shukadeva Goswami. A couple of verses we'll understand there. Uttareshu cha Kurushu means Uttara Kuru province. Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha, the Supreme Lord, Yajna Purushaha, the personification of sacrifices. Kruta Varaha Rupa stays there by accepting the form of Lord Varaha. Aste tam tu Devi ha Isha Buhu. So he stays there not only alone with Devi, Mother Earth. Saha Kurubir Askalita Bhakti Yogena, with unalloyed devotional service, Askalita. Saha, along with all the inhabitants of that province. Apadhavati imam cha paramam upanisham avartayati. So they repeatedly chant the following Upanishad mantra for the satisfaction of Lord Varaha. So what is that mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Mantra Tattva Lingaya Yajna Kritave Mahadvara Avyayavaya Mahapurushaya Namah Karma Shuklaya Triyugaya Namaste. This is that mantra what Mother Earth is glorifying Lord Varaha. She is saying, O Lord, Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you as the gigantic person, Mahapurushaya, a huge form. And Mantra Tattva Lingaya. Simply by chanting mantras, we shall be able to understand you fully. Lord can be perceived by chanting his holy name. Mantra Tattva Lingaya. And you are yajna, sacrifice. And you are kratuhu, you are the ritual. Therefore, Mahadvara Avyavaya. All ritualistic ceremonies of sacrifice are part of your transcendental body. So last verses we saw, all the bodily parts of the Lord are connected with different elements of sacrifice. So same point is explained here. And it is also said, Karma Shuklaya, and you are the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasham. The same point is here, Karma Shuklaya. You are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. And your form is composed of transcendental goodness, Shuddha Sattvaya. And you are known as Triyugaya, one who appears in only 3 yugas. Prominently Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga. In Kali Yuga, there will be Lord's no direct incarnation. It will be an indirect incarnation. That's why it is known as Triyuga. He appears majorly in 3 yugas only. Namaste, because of you, or it says, because you possess 3 pairs of opulences. Lord is known as all 6 opulences in full. That's why he is known as Bhagavan. So it is like 3 pairs, because that's why it is Triyugaya. That's why I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. This is a prayer offered by all the inhabitants of Uttara Kuru province along with Mother Earth to Lord Varaha. Similarly, in Bhagavatam many places there is glorification of Lord Krishna's beauty. Because the form of the Lord is so enchanting that different devotees, when they saw the form of the Lord, they glorified that particular aspect. So this is the beauty of Lord Krishna as glorified by Lord Brahma in the 10th canto, 14th chapter. He says, Barha prasuna vanadhatu vichitrange pradhama venudala shrunga ravotsava adhyaha vatsan gunan anuga gita pavitra kirtir gopi drugutsava drishi pravivesha gostam. It says, Barha prasuna. The Lord is decorated. How the Lord Krishna looks like? There will be a peacock feather, unique thing of Lord Krishna. a peacock feather, Baraha. Then there is Prasuna, there are flowers, Vanamala. Lord doesn't be there. Whenever he comes from the forest, there will be a Vanamala. Always Krishna is decorated with flowers. He likes flowers, garlands. That's why Prasuna, flowers. Then Vanadatu, because they went around Govardhana, his friends, boys, will decorate Krishna's body with all the colors and minerals on his face. Vanadhatu. Then Vichitrangaha. And with various ways he is decorated in that way. His body was decorated with flowers, colors, pigments, everything and all. Vichitrangaha. He looks very beautiful by these decorations. Then Prodhama Venu Dala Shrunga Rava Utsavadyaha. Then he has one flute, Venu, Dala Shrunga, then he has one buffalo horn. So then, by which they sound loudly when Krishna is entering the home. What he does? He gives indication that I am coming home. How? By playing his horn. Or on the way when Krishna is playing the flute, the other cowherd boys also join him by playing these beautiful buffalo horns. And it sounded like Rava Utsavadyaha, and it sounded like a festival. When a caravan is passing, there will be a huge sound, festival like a festive sound. So similarly, when Krishna is coming back home, it was appearing like, it was like a festival, Krishna is coming back. Then Vatsan Granan, when Krishna wanted to go back, he was calling each of his calves, come by their specific name. Vatsan Granan, Krishna was calling the calves by their specific names. Then Anuga Gita Pavitra Kirti, Anuga, Krishna's chelas, Anugas, followers, the cowhead boys, they are glorifying Krishna with beautiful qualities of Lord Krishna. Anuga Gitir, Pavitra Kirtihi, and it is the most auspicious thing. Krishna's glories are most auspicious. Then Gopi Drug Utsava Drushihi. Then this produced all the cowherd women had experienced a festival for their eyes. Because when they saw Krishna, when they saw all the cowherd boys, when they saw all the cows and calves following with the Lord, it was like a beautiful festival for all the gopis. Gopi Druk Utsava Drushihi. Then Pravivesha Gostam, with all these things, he was entering Vrindavana. So further it says also one more place. Shyamam Hiranya Paridim Vanamalya Baraha Dhatu Pravala Natavesham Anvrutamshe. Shyamam, the bodily color of Krishna, is blackish. Hiranya Paridim, and he is having a golden garment of golden color. His dress, what is the color of Krishna's dress? Yellow, like a brightening thunderbolt. That is shining. A thunderbolt will shine. So his yellow color was also like a shining one. That's why it is as Hiranya Paridim, like a glittering golden color. Then Vanamalya, he is having a beautiful forest garland. Barha, a peacock feather. Dhatu, then colors. Pravala Natavesham, and he accepted just like a dramatic dancer. The form, how he was decorated, it looks like a dramatic dancer. Natavesham. Anvrata Amshe Vinyasta Hastam. He was holding his hand on the shoulder of his cowherd boy. He was putting his hand like this. Then Itarena Dhanunam Abjam. And with the other, he was having Abjam, a lotus flower, and he was twisting his lotus flower. With one hand, he is resting his hand on the shoulder of a cowherd boy. In one hand, he is playing with the lotus flower. He was twisting the lotus flower, twisting. Then Karnot Palalaka Kapola Mukhabja Hasam. So Karna Utpalaha. In lilies are gracing his ears. There were lily flowers around his ears. Karna Utpala. Then Alaka Kapola, his hair hung down his cheeks. The long hair was there. Then Mukhabja Hasam, his lotus face was smiling. The mood in which, you see, Krishna was very joyful. He was in a very playful mood. Next. So if you see with this perspective, when you touch Krishna, as it was mentioned, Mother Earth became beautiful. So what happens when you touch Krishna is explained in Bhagavatam. Dorbhyam parivyasyaja rama amalalayam Shri Radha Govindaki Mukunda gatram nrupatir hata shubha lebe param nivritim ashrulochano hrushya tanur vrishmuta loka vibramaha. So Mukunda gatram, the eternal form of Lord Krishna, is Rama Amala Alayam. He is the everlasting residence of Goddess of Fortune. Rama Amala Alayam. Then Dhorbhyam Parisvaja Drupatihi. Oh my dear King Yudhishthira, as he embraced the beautiful form of the Lord with his hands, the king became Hata Ashubhaha. He became free from all contamination of material existence. As soon as he touched the Lord, he became free from all material contamination. Then, Lebe Param Nivritim, and he felt transcendental bliss and merged in an ocean of happiness. So, by touching the Lord, he became purified first. Then he started experiencing transcendental happiness and merged in an ocean of happiness, transcendental bliss. Then, what happened next? Ashrulochanaha, there were continuous tears from his eyes. And Hrushya Tanuhu, his body is experiencing shock due to ecstasy. Next, Vismruta Loka Vibramaha, he completely forgot he was living in this material world. So, the touch of the Lord, see the experience what Maharaj Yudhishthira is experiencing. He's feeling. The same thing Mother Earth is feeling. As soon as it was touched by the Lord, she became ecstatic. She became beautiful. With the touch of the Lord, it became beautiful. Because the devotee is beautiful, the Lord becomes beautiful. There's a competition, we know. Prabhupada always says, when Radharani becomes beautiful, gopis become beautiful. By seeing them, Krishna becomes beautiful. When gopis see that Krishna is become more beautiful, they become even more beautiful. That's why always this competition goes on. So, similarly, the gopis, when they saw Lord Krishna, so how they were explaining to the other friends, they were saying, Ga gopikair anuvanam nayator udhara venusvane kalapades tanubruchya sakyaha. Oh my dear sakyaha, oh my dear friend, Kruta Lakshanayaho anuvanam. Lord Krishna and Balarama are passing through the forest. Nayatoho, they are leading. What are they leading? Gha gopikaha. They are leading the cows and the cowherd boys. Krishna and Balarama are leading the group. Then, what are they doing? Niyoga pashaha. They carry with them the rope for binding the legs of the cows, which are, while milking, the legs have to be bound. Or else because they might disturb the milking process. So, they were carrying that ropes. Then, Udana Venusvanai, when they play on their beautiful flutes, Tanubrutsa Aspandam Gatimatam. All living entities, either moving or non-moving. The moving means Gatimatam, those who move. Aspandam, they became static. They became like a standstill nature. So those who are moving, they became standstill. And Pulakas Tarunam, and the trees which do not move, they are experiencing ecstatic jubilation. And they are shaking. Those who are moving became static, and those who are static, they became moving. Understood the perspective? By the, when Krishna plays his flute. Next, how Kalapadaihi, by the sweet music which was coming out of Krishna's lotus flute, Krishna's flute, and this is Vichitram. All these things are certainly very wonderful. So, because anything connected with Krishna becomes very wonderful, astonishing. Have you seen living entity which is moving becoming static? And the living entity which is static becoming moving? So that is the speciality of the Lord. He can create anything impossible. So similarly, there are many deities and many pastimes. So this is one story about a unique deity of Lord Krishna. We would have heard, but some technical elements also we will understand. This is the deity of Lord Krishna at Guruvayur. It is said that this is the first deity which is been given to Lord Brahma. When Brahma was feeling the inspiration, we were seeing what prayers he had offered when he wanted to create. He offered beautiful prayers to the Supreme Lord. So this is the specific deity of Lord Krishna, which is worshipped by Maha Vishnu in his planet. So when Brahma had wanted inspiration, he wanted to personally serve the Lord. Lord Vishnu gave that deity to Brahma for his worship. So Brahma was taking care of the deity worship. After some time, in the Varaha Kalpa, in the starting of this creation, there were a devotees couple by name Prishni and Sutapa. We heard about them in Bhagavatam. So they were the one where Krishna refers to Devaki Vasudeva in their previous lives. They were first Prishni and Sutapa, then they were Aditi and Kashyapa, and third they become Vasudeva and Devaki. So when Prishni and Sutapa prayed to Lord Brahma for the gift of a son, so Brahma gave them this deity of Lord Krishna, asking them if they worship the deity in sincere devotion, they will be blessed by the Lord. So they worshipped this Lord of Lord Krishna for a long time, for almost like 10,000 of years they had worshipped this deity. And later by seeing their sincere devotion, Lord became very happy and Lord appeared in front of them. Lord said, what benediction do you want? So Prishni and Sutapa said, we wanted a son like you. Lord said, there will be no like me, only I have to come. So since you have prayed sincerely for me, I will come in 3 lifetimes for you. And you will not miss the association of my deity worship in all the 3 lifetimes. So first avatara they had Prishni Garbha. The first avatara, it was to Vrishna and Sutipi, it is Prishni Garbha. After some time, in the next life they came as Kashyapa and Aditi. So Aditi was having problem because the demigods lost the battle in Asura and they lost all their kingdom and everything and all. So she became morose. At that time again, she worshipped the same deity which they had worshipped in the past life, that Krishna deity. So after gaining that Krishna deity worshipping, again they had a son by name Vamana. So then again Vamana comes, he goes and takes away the kingdom from Bali Maharaj, hands it over to his brother Indra. So after Kashyapa Aditi, then third incarnation Vasudeva and Devaki. So even in this time when Krishna, they had worshipped this deity and they had Krishna as their son. So after killing Kamsa, they all moved to Dwaraka. So where Lord Krishna had built a huge temple by Vishwakarma so that their parents could worship the same deity which they was carrying in their last all these generations and all. So when till Krishna was there on this earthly planet, the seva was going on. When Krishna was about to quit this earthly planet, he met Uddhava. And he instructed Uddhava to take care of this deity worship. After Krishna passing away, 7 days Dwaraka will be submerged into the ocean. And please plan in such a way that the deity should be handed over to Brihaspati. So he will come and he will receive this deity from you. You have to hand it over to him by that time. So as Krishna left this material world, within 7 days, the water came and the entire Dwarka city was submerged. So Uddhava could perceive the deity being floating in the water. So since he could not retrieve the deity, he prayed to the wind god, my dear wind god, please bring the deity to the shore. So wind god, on the request of Uddhava, brought the deity, floated to the shore. So Uddhava collected it and he was thinking how to hand it over to Brihaspati. So in the meantime, he saw Brihaspati walking towards him. So he went and informed Brihaspati that this is the instruction for me from Lord Krishna. So I have to hand over this deity to you. Brihaspati said, yes, I also know, that's why I had come here to receive the deity. Now Brihaspati was handed over and Uddhava proceeded to Badrika Ashrama. Now Brihaspati was thinking, now where to install this deity? Where is that sanctified place where I can install this deity? So he requested Vayudeva, since you have already come here, take me in the air so that I can go faster. Both of us can search for a suitable place where Lord Krishna deity can be installed. So Vayu picked up Brihaspati and both of them were traveling. So when they came to the province of Kerala, near the ocean, there was one beautiful garden surrounded by lakes and everything and all. So there at one particular place, Lord Shiva was dancing in a happy mood with Parvati Devi. So they also became so ecstatic, they went and they became like spectators after watching the darshan of Parvati and Shiva dance. At the end of the dance, Parvati and Shiva, when Brihaspati and Vayu saw, they went and paid obeisances and they requested Lord Shiva that we were looking for a suitable place for this deity, beautiful deity of Lord Krishna to be installed. So Lord Shiva said, this is the most beautiful place, that's why I am staying here. So you can install him here itself, so that on this lake itself, you will have a beautiful garden, lake, it's a nice atmosphere here, so you can install here. So I will become the Kshetrapalaka so that nobody will come and disturb the Lord here. So one side of the, one corner, Lord Shiva had taken the residence, the other corner, this beautiful Krishna deity was established and the beautiful temple was built there. So Vishwakarma had helped up in setting up the building of the temple. So since Guru and Vayu had established temple, this place became known as Guru Vayu Uru. So since in the name of this Guru Vayurappan, Krishna deity, in the name of Guru and Vayu, because they had set up this temple and installed this deity, on their name the Lord became famous at us. So there are many stories concerned with the deity of Lord Krishna here. So when Shankaracharya was passing by this area, the festival was going on, Lord's Pallaki procession was going on. So he was trying to avoid the deity and he was just wanted to cross the procession without having darshan of the deity. But suddenly as he came near the center of the road, he fell unconscious, one side of the road. So after some time when he regained consciousness, he saw on the beautiful top of the elephant, the beautiful form of the Lord there. So then he could understand why did he become unconscious. You wanted to go away without having my darshan. Lord said, no, I will give you darshan, you have to stay here. So Shankaracharya, then he composes Govindastaka, the glorifying the beauty of Lord Govinda. So then there is one place called as Manjulatara. So there was one girl, a devoted girl by name Manjula, who was of a warrior caste. So every night she used to bring beautiful garlands for the service of the Lord. So one day she was late, the temple was closed. So she could only reach a temple where the elephant race starts there. There was a beautiful big banyan tree. So she felt guilty that she could not serve the Lord that day with the garlands. So she was feeling very bad and she was sitting there and crying. So one more devotee, Putanam, who was famous in that area. So after having darshan of the Lord, when the temple was closed, he was passing by. So he saw the girl crying and he went and sat next to her and he had asked, why are you crying? So she explained, she became engrossed into the making of the garland and she forgot the time when she came here, temple was closed. No, how do I offer to the Lord? Today my garland has become waste. So he said, don't bother, Krishna is everywhere. So you leave this garland at the feet of this tree and with the mood that you are offering to Krishna, because temple is closed, Krishna is known as Bhavagrahi Janardana, he accepts the garland. So she became very happy, she left the garland at the feet of the tree and she went away. So next day morning when the pujari came for the Mangalarti, he was removing the flowers. But that garland, one garland was not coming out of the deity. So everybody became surprised. What is this garland not coming out of the deity? When Putanam came for Mangalarti, he could understand that this is the same garland which that girl had left at the bottom of the tree. So immediately all of them went near the tree. So as soon as when they went near the tree, that the garland, when they removed there, that garland got removed from that altar. So that's why from that day, on the name of that girl, that tree became very famous. That banyan tree, which became not different from Lord Krishna, it became very famous. That's why it was Manjula Tara. Tara means tree, Manjula Tara. On the name of that girl, the tree became famous. So this is one, there was one Nambudari priest by name Nenmini Nambudari. So since it was an emergency, he was the only pujari for the deity. So it was an emergency, so had told his 12-year-old son to offer bhoga to the Lord, and he left. So as the prescribed time came, he brought the bhoga, he left it in front of the deity, and he prayed to the Lord, please accept the offering. So he came back after some time that the deity has not accepted the food. Then he thought maybe Lord was not satisfied. He went out and he brought some salted mangoes and some pickle and some curds and all. So he said, my dear Lord, maybe you like curd rice, that's why I brought curds also. So you can mix this rice with curds, and because it might be blank, I bought this pickle also. So after the offering also, Lord did not accept. Then he was feeling very bad. If you don't accept, my dear Lord, my father will come, and if he gets to know that you have not eaten, so he becomes very angry, he will beat me, black and blue. So he started pleading the Lord, he started requesting the Lord, he started like almost putting emergency on the Lord, you have to accept. So seeing his sincere devotion, the Lord accepted bhoga entirely, he ate that bhoga. Then as soon as he came out, then the person who is in charge of collecting the prasadam had asked, where is prasadam? This boy said, Lord, I ate the prasadam. Now that person did not believe. What is that? What it means? Lord has eaten prasadam. He started scolding him, he started questioning him. In the meantime, his father had come, and this person had complained to his father that this boy has eaten up the entire bhoga, and he is saying that prasadam, and he is saying Lord has eaten prasadam. So when the father was about to punish him, Lord speaks and he says, no, this boy is true, I have eaten the prasadam today, because he has offered so sincerely, I had accepted his offering. Because this boy had offered with the devotion, the pickle and curd rice, from that day, the deity offering started along with all the other offerings, pickle and curd rice started offering to the Lord. So there was one more cook, there were two cooks in the temple. So one day somebody came to offer a special feast for the Lord with 100 kgs of rice. So early morning he had to come, that one cook was sick or something like that, he had taken a leave for 2 days. So he was wondering, 100 kgs of rice, it will be very difficult for me. So he was praying to the Lord, how I will be able to do on time for the offering. So next day morning when he came, he saw the other cook was already there, and he had finished cooking of 100 kgs rice, and all the other bhogas were also ready. And he was wondering, so faster he came. When the offering was finished, the other priest said, okay, I will go take my bath and come back. So even after a couple of hours also, that cook has not come back. So this cook was thinking, what happened? So he sent somebody to look for the other cook, what happened to him. So when they went around and they saw there was no other cook and all, then they went to his house. Then they saw that boy was sick and he has not got up from the bed for last 2 days. So he was wondering, who is that person? So Lord Krishna only has come, he has prepared the bhoga, and he himself ate the bhoga and he went away. So for his devotees, he don't want to keep the trouble. So there is one more famous story about Putanam. So Putanam was a great Bhagavata reciter. So every day he used to go have darshan of the Lord, and he used to recite Bhagavatam. So when there was one Shiva temple in the nearby province, so the temple is open only for few days in a year. So Putanam took his shelter in the temple and he started reciting Bhagavatam. So every day various people used to come and they used to hear Bhagavatam. So there is this specific chapter where he was discussing about Lord Krishna teases Rukmini Devi. So he had started that narration and everybody were feeling very happy, very joyful. And he had finished that narration, he had kept the bookmark for the next chapter for tomorrow. So when he came back next day, he saw again the same chapter is there, bookmark is changed to the same chapter. So again he spoke about the same chapter. So every day, for how many days he was there, every day that bookmark is on the same chapter only. So he was wondering what happened. So that day was the last day, he gave the recitation and the temple was closed, he started going back. After some time he realized his Bhagavatam book was left inside the temple itself. So he came back to open the temple and take that Bhagavatam. Then he suddenly saw some lecture was going on. He was hearing. So then he peeped through the keyhole of the door. He saw Lord Shiva was explaining the same chapter of Bhagavatam to Parvati Devi and all his associates. And everybody were in ecstasy. So after some time, Lord Shiva, after finishing the explanation, he asked Parvati Devi, how is the lecture? Parvati Devi said, it is good, but not like Putanam. Putanam was explaining very nicely. That's why Lord Shiva says, that's why I like his recitation, that's why every day I am changing the bookmark to the same chapter. I want to hear from him. So in that way, Lord Shiva was also very happy. So this Putanam, every day, whenever he used to come to the temple, he has to travel 100 kilometer distance to have darshan of Lord Guruvayurappa. So one day when he was traveling, the group of bandits had attacked him and they wanted to kill him and take away all his jewelry. So at that time, with no other resort, he prayed to Lord, oh my dear Lord, only you can do whatever you want with me. I am at your shelter. I am completely surrendered personality. The next moment when he opened his eyes, he saw all the bandits are dead around there. And he saw the minister in charge, the minister for responsibility for taking care of the protection. So Sainyadipati. He was standing there and his sword is with all the blood drops. Means he has come and he has killed all the miscreants there. So feeling very happy, he removed his finger ring and he offered to the minister as a token of gratitude for saving his life. And he proceeded to the temple to have darshan. So that night, the Lord appeared into the dream of that pujari, head pujari, and he said, tomorrow morning when Putanam comes for the darshan of the temple, there is one ring to my finger, remove it and hand it over to him. So next day morning when he came there, the pujari came and handed over that ring to Putanam, and Putanam, when he saw the ring, he remembered, this is the same ring we had offered to the commander-in-chief. So it is Lord Krishna who has come as the commander-in-chief and who has protected me, because the Lord is there for the protection of his devotees. So this is one more pastime. So there is similarly, as Putanam was very famous for Bhagavatam in Malayalam language, there is one more devotee who is also a great poet, whose name is known as Mail Patur. He is an erudite scholar and great poet in Sanskrit. The Lord is very partial for his devotees. So Mail Patur used to laugh at Putanam's Sanskrit reading and recitation. So one day Putanam was wrongly reciting, he is saying, Padmanabha Maraprabhu. So actually it is Padmanabha Amaraprabhu. Lord Padmanabha, who is the Lord of immortals. But Padmanabha Maraprabhu means he is the Lord of the trees. Mara means tree, Maraprabhu. So when the scholar was saying, see what you are reciting, you are chanting very wrongly. What Padmanabha is Lord of the trees? No, he is the Lord of the eternals. So, but the Lord who was hearing in the altar, he said, no, he says, no, I am the Lord of trees also. I am Lord Padmanabha Maraprabhu is also correct. Because my devotee said, I am also that. So there is a deity of Maraprabhu in the guest house there, depicting the specific pastime. So similarly, Bilvamangal Thakur, he is also a great devotee of Lord Krishna in Guruvayura. So his devotion and dedication to Lord, that he could have the darshan of the deity form whenever he went, wherever he went. So when he came to Guruvayur, he saw the Lord granted him from the altar itself. So one day he did not find the darshan of the Lord in the altar. So he went around in search of the Lord. So there he heard the tinkling of the bells in the northern corner of the temple. So when he peeped in, he saw Lord Krishna dancing there. So some devotees were singing, he was dancing to the tune of the devotees. So from that day, that place became known as Nritya Mandapa, where Lord Krishna likes to dance. Then one more occasion, he could not have darshan of the Lord in the altar. So he saw that day the Lord was sitting along with the drummer boys. There will be musical instruments. So whenever the Lord, so that day the Lord was sitting amongst the boys and he was eating the feast which was offered to that boys. So the Lord, so from that day it became very famous that as this event, that Lord is very happy when his associates are taken care. So the Lord was fond of the feast given to the Marar boys. It became an important offering with the devotees. Then one more time he wanted to leave. He failed to have darshan of the Lord in the altar. So it was night and there was one Krishnattam dance being played in the courtyard. Then he found the Lord on the stage. So Lord was dancing in that Krishnattam style. So from that day, the Krishnattam being staged in one of the courtyards instead of the inside place. So it is also in different pastimes. Lord was giving darshan to his devotees. Like Lord likes, the devotees also now start enacting that pastimes. So these are the unique things which are there for the deity. There are many other perspectives also. So this male Patur had composed one song in Sanskrit, and Putanam had composed one song of wisdom known as Jnanapana in Malayalam language. So at that time he was showing this draft copy to male Patar to please read and say anything. So male Patar, out of his Sanskrit scholarship and erudition and all, he was criticizing. It is in local language, I don't even touch local language. So he is saying, I am a Sanskrit scholar, you are wasting your time, what is your point in glorifying in local language? Like that and all, he criticized Putanam. So Putanam became very sorry that he left there. So, so at that time, Male Patur was composing Narayaniyam, where he came to offer 10 slokas in front of the Lord. But he could not even utter a single word. There was one small boy who was never seen before. He presented himself and pointed out various mistakes after the male Patur had when he started offering these slokas. After 10 mistakes in 10 slokas, male Patur realized the divinity of the boy. He went and paid obeisances and he said, my dear Lord, please forgive me. The next moment the boy disappeared. So a celestial voice then it was heard that Putanam's devotion is more pleasing to me than male Patur's knowledge in Sanskrit grammar. So he realized his mistake and asked Putanam to pardon him, and he amended his arrogance by reading the works of Putanam. So in that way, the Lord is always considered as the, Bhakta Vatsala. He is very favorable to his devotees. He doesn't want, and he wants to give credit to his devotees. He wants to glorify his devotees, because if the devotees are glorified, automatically the Lord is glorified. Right, he has said, because the earth is become beautiful by the presence of the devotees, similarly, by the presence of the Supreme Lord, even earth becomes beautiful. That continuation we will see in the further verses. I will stop here. Any questions or doubts? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Golden Temple వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరి